Barcelona is one of Europe's great cities, famous for its architecture, food and nightlife, but also racing, with the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya the favored venue for Formula One's pre-season testing. And last week marked the final 3 days of running before Australia, as part of just 6 allocated in 2020. Mercedes, though, remains the squad to beat, with Valtteri Bottas quickest overall on Pirelli's softest C5 tyre. His Day 3 best time of 1:15.732, just 3/10 off his 2019 Spanish Grand Prix pole time. And just over half a second up on Red Bull Racing's Max Verstappen on the C4, which the Dutchman set on Day 6. But domination is far from guaranteed, with the Silver Arrows concerned over power unit reliability, with the works team using 2 engines in the first week, customer squad Williams using 3. And the difference between the C5 and C4 compounds reckoned to be around 4.5 tenths, with 3 tenths between the C4 and C3, and another 4.5 between the C3 and C2. Red Bull's new RB16 is therefore quick, but Verstappen played down its potentially skittish nature, chalking up multiple spins to finding the limit. Renault's Daniel Ricciardo finished in 3rd fastest, just ahead of Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, both on C5s, but said he extracted close to the maximum, whereas the Scuderia is yet to show its hand. The dark horse remains Racing Point, its RP20 dubbed a pink Mercedes. The squad looks faster than rival McLaren, enough for podiums potentially. Sergio Perez was 7th fastest on the C3, his tyre-corrected time putting him in the low 1:16s, which is top team territory. As with all pre-season tests, mileage is crucial, and all teams completed at least 600 laps. Mercedes topped the distance charts on 903, 59 more than Ferrari. McLaren was also super reliable with 804. The squads have now returned to their bases for last-minute prep, before pack-up for back-to-back flyaway races, starting with Australia. The world at large continues to deal with the spread of novel coronavirus, which has been declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization and claimed more than 3,000 lives. Its effects in sport have necessarily been wide-ranging, with the Chinese Grand Prix postponed. Bahrain remains in question, but F1's season opener in Australia is unlikely to be affected, with organizers stating it's all systems go for next weekend's event, given there is no indication of further travel bans. Australia currently has travel restrictions in place for foreign nationals traveling from China and Iran, but extending those to include Italy would likely affect F1 teams Ferrari and AlphaTauri, and tyre supplier Pirelli. The transportation of major equipment to Albert Park begins this week, with the cars and associated team gear scheduled to arrive in Melbourne via 6 747 jumbo jets this Sunday, March 8. Ferrari is set to be a talking point in Melbourne following its controversial private settlement with F1's governing body, the FIA, over its 2019 engine. The Scuderia brought the prancing horses last year for wins in Belgium, Italy, and Singapore, with its power unit allegedly boosted by sidestepping fuel flow sensor restrictions, before a technical directive ahead of the US Grand Prix closed down loopholes. But outcomes from the FIA's subsequent investigation has Ferrari's rivals up in arms, with a private settlement not just lacking transparency, but also a result in terms of its conformity with the regulations. Ferrari chief Mattia Binotto says that the squad has nothing to hide, though, and that the FIA checks its cars more than any other team. We have never changed our way of operating the engine for the last part of the season, showing that somehow our power unit has full legality, he said. Mercedes stunned during the opening 2020 preseason test, with its innovative push and pull dual-axis steering system, or DAS. But Ferrari has since admitted it considered introducing the system in the past and decided against it due to questionable legality and usefulness on its car. Mercedes' system, part of an aggressive approach to the 2020 campaign, the last before F1's new era, allows the driver to control the car's toe, or tracking, as it's known in road cars, for optimal rotation of the front tires around the vertical axis, enabling the team to set up the car for cornering and then return it to a more neutral handling on the straights to save tires. The system has already been banned for 2021, but Ferrari's Mattia Binotto says he's across its potential for the SF1000 should the FIA leave the door open for this year as expected. "We are looking at what others are doing," he said. "At the moment, it is really a question mark. I'm not sure we will develop it." 2009 F1 World Champion Jenson Button says he cannot see countryman Lewis Hamilton signing with any team other than Mercedes, and expects contract negotiations this year to be short and sweet. Hamilton, now 35, is highly likely to stay in F1 beyond his current contract that finishes at the end of this season, having admitted he's excited about the sport's new era. But the Brit's private meetings with Ferrari's chairman John Elkann in 2019 fueled speculation he would finish his career with the Scuderia. Button, though, sees no reason for Hamilton to move.
Mercedes are winning the World Championship many years, well, since 2014, it's their first year. And Lewis has won 5 World Championships with the team. So, I mean, it should be the easiest contract to talk about because they've both achieved. So just make it happen. You know what I mean? And we can focus on the actual racing.
Hamilton has also been powered by Mercedes throughout his F1 career and is rightly proud of the long-term association.
I got signed to Mercedes when I was 13, so you know it's great to each year come back and kind of continue to cement the trust and belief they had in me when I was that young, and be a part of this incredible family and the history and heritage.
Williams racer George Russell says that the embattled squad is in a better position this year, but still expects to have the slowest car for round 1 at Melbourne's Albert Park. The British outfit finished pre-season testing with the 7th fastest time by team, but Russell's time on the C5s would be bettered by those behind on C4s, with Alfa Romeo's true pace on C5s still unclear. Russell, though, is ready to hoover up any point-scoring chances. "I hope this year when people slip up and we perform well, that's when we can take the opportunities," he said. F1 will fly to Hanoi next month for the inaugural Vietnam Grand Prix, and preparation for the event is on target, with images released of the finished permanent sections of the 5.607-kilometer track, including the pit building, opening complex, and final sector run from turn 13 past the National Football Stadium, in readiness for the remaining temporary elements like grandstands. The Hanoi street circuit is located in the Meeting district and features a Nürburgring-style opening arena complex before heading down parallel straights. The final sector reminiscent of Monaco, Suzuka, and Sepang, with turn 22 a tight left leading to a 90-degree final corner. Over in the Netherlands, the Zandvoort circuit near Amsterdam continues to prepare for the return of the Dutch Grand Prix, the first to be held since 1985, with its 18-degree banked final corner now complete. The F1 teams tested a new prototype C2 front tire last week in Barcelona, one with a different, more resistant construction, to be used in case there are any loading issues during May's race weekend. Formula One heads into its 70th anniversary season with good news on the financial front, with the F1 Group posting a profit for the first time in 3 years, to the tune of $17 million. After 2 straight years of losses in 2017 and 2018, totaling $105 million, F1's overall income increased to $2.022 billion in 2019 via a boost in primary revenue, with 38% from broadcast fees. And the sport's top management is confident of sustained success, with ratings, attendance, and engagement also on the rise. Two-time F1 world champion Fernando Alonso's dream of securing the Triple Crown of motorsport remains alive, with news he'll be returning to the Brickyard on May 24 with Arrow's McLaren Racing SP. With potential for an additional drive in the Indianapolis Grand Prix on the IMS road course a few weeks earlier as a warm-up. Alonso will be in a third McLaren car, with the squad returning to IndyCar full-time this year in partnership with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports, its drivers Patricio O'Ward and Oliver Askew. The Spaniard will be desperate for a competitive Indy 500 drive after he embarrassingly failed to qualify for the race last year in an uncompetitive Carlin-run McLaren Dallara Chevrolet. His first attempt with Andretti Autosport in 2017 was dashed by a Honda engine failure 21 laps from home. Alonso, a 2-time Monaco winner, has had plenty of success away from F1 with Toyota, including 2 straight Le Mans victories and the 2018-19 World Endurance Championship. He competed in the Dakar this year, but finished down in 13th. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.